Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves anyone out there to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together in one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy. This masterclass here that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic is how to become a star in the performing arts. Now, I'm talking about this subject because I was reading 50 Cent's latest book. His book is called Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. And I really like the way that he laid things out on this particular topic. So I took the points, I lifted these points straight from what 50 said, but the fleshing of the points are all from me. So as I say all the time, to quote Jay-Z, he made it a hot line, I'm gonna make it a hot song. So I'm taking these points straight from what 50 said in the book. There are, I believe there were four things that he said you need to be a star in the performing arts. I'm gonna lay those out and I'm gonna explain them. And I want you to understand that even if you are not a rapper like 50 Cent, which I'm not, even if you don't get on stages, any type of performance work that you do, any kind of performance work, your performance could be running the sales department at your company. Your performance could be giving a sales presentation for your startup and trying to get some funding for your next round of funding so you can keep your business open. So any type of presentation, anywhere where you have to give a performance, these are the things that can make you a star, make you stand out, make you a person whose presence alone becomes so compelling that your price goes up. So compelling that you get things done without having to do anything, whose reputation precedes you. Kind of like this kind of goes hand in hand with what we talked about yesterday, how to create a compelling presentation for yourself is to make yourself into a star at what you're doing. So again, thank you again, hat tip to 50 Cent for these points out of his book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. Let's get right into it. Point number one, the topic again, how to be a star in performing arts. Number one thing you can do is create great material. Whatever your work is, your main work, your baseline work, your bottom line work, make sure that it's great. I mean, it's a simple enough idea, simple enough concept, not always easy to execute on. Find your niche. What is your area that you're gonna own? What's the area that you're gonna dominate? When people speak of such and such topic, they gotta mention your name. If somebody says, I'm looking for the best person or someone who could really help me with fill in the blank, they gotta mention your name. When somebody mentions your name, what's the first thing that people think of? When somebody mentions your name, what's the thing that they're gonna be talking about? What is that area that you're gonna own? The area that you're gonna dominate, that you are the source for all the best information on that topic. What is that for you? Finding your audience. What is your audience that you're gonna own? What is the audience that these specific people are exactly who I help, and I help them better and deeper and with more context and with more material than anyone else out there? What is that gonna be for you? What is it? If you got to figure out exactly how you're going to help people. Instead of asking what's the topic that I want to dominate, you could also ask, you can come at it from a different angle. Who are the people that I want to help? Who exactly do I want to help? How do I want to help them? What outcome do I want to help them achieve? If you can answer those questions, then you'll pretty much figure out who your audience is. It might not be a specific industry. You might want to help entrepreneurs, but you're not helping the entrepreneurship industry, which is way too broad. Maybe you want to help entrepreneurs who are single moms who are working from home. All right, that can be a niche audience. You could even niche down even further into that. Maybe people who are book writers, or people who have courses, or people who do coaching. You could niche it down, but you need to figure out who exactly you want to help, how you want to help them, what outcome you want to help them achieve. And you may need to experiment with things before you figure this out. Now, all of this is under the topic of creating great material, because your material is not going to be great until it's targeted to the right person. So you can have great material for a certain subject, but if you are giving that material to the wrong person, then it's not great, because for that person is not exactly what they need. When you find the right audience for your material, or even better, find the right audience, then make the material, then it becomes great, because it's great based on the results that you're creating for your audience. It's not great based on what you think of it or what you said, or you put these words together perfectly because the website looks good. It's great based on hitting your target audience the right way. You may need, again, to experiment with this before you hit on that right target audience, that right niche, that right who am I helping, that right how am I helping them, what's the outcome I want them to get. You may have to play around with this one for a while. You might not hit it immediately the first time you think of it. Most people don't. Great marketing campaigns, ladies and gentlemen, through Facebook or content or hiring an SEO person, those cannot save a trashy product. If your material is trash, it doesn't matter how much your music label promotes the song. If your book is not good, it doesn't matter how many podcasts you try to get yourself on to promote the book, because eventually somebody's gonna buy it based on your marketing. They're gonna read it, it's no good, they're not gonna tell anybody about it. Word of mouth is what makes things go viral. Shareability is what makes people want to take your thing and make sure everybody else knows about it. It has to be shareable. What makes something shareable is, first of all, it has to be good. If it's not good, nobody's gonna share it. Nobody wants to be the person sharing something that's not good. We want to share something that's interesting, something that's compelling, something that makes other people say, damn, I'm glad they shared that. I want to know about that. Something that makes a person proud to say, I was the one who told my whole audience about your book. I was the one who told my audience about your course, or I was the one who saw that video before 10 million people watched it. What about what you're offering makes people want to tell everybody else about it? It needs to be great in order to do that. If it's not great, people don't want to tell everybody else about it. They'll actually wish that they never wasted their time on it. Great marketing cannot save a trashy product. Y'all have heard the saying, skills pay the bills, right? Everything that you do to get your name out there is built on the foundation, hopefully built on the foundation of you actually being good at what you do. If you're out there trying to get your name out there to the world, but you're not actually good at what you do, stop it. Take a step backwards, get good at what you do, then get your name out there. Don't get your name out there, you have no substance to offer, because you'll be found out very quickly and nobody else is gonna be willing to spread your name because the word is out that you're not good. Have something good that makes people interested in you, then get the word out there about yourself. When you get your chance, you must deliver. I've talked about this in many classes on this show. I'll tell you, masterclass number 702. If your next chance was your last, what would you do with it? Masterclass number 691. When you get your chance, you better be good. The biggest regret of the dying is masterclass number 494. The biggest regret of people when they die is that they didn't take enough chances. I told you about giving yourself more chances to win in masterclass number 1319 and in number 1258. When you see your chance, make sure you take it. When you get that chance, take it and be ready to deliver. You got to have something good. You got to have great content, great material. Whatever your baseline thing is, your main thing, you got to be good at that. Getting known and looking good and being compelling, all of those things are great. But if you're not actually good at what you do, once people start paying attention to you, you're going to realize that you're not good and you're not going to last. You will be passed over by the next person who actually has some substance. Point number 2. Today's topic is how to be a star in the performing arts, be a high energy live performer. Now, like I talked about high energy in yesterday's masterclass on having a compelling presentation, energy attracts attention, energy attracts other energy. If you want other people's energy, you got to put out energy. You want people's attention, have high energy. People gravitate to those who have the highest energy, but beware. The effects of being high energy will wear off if there is no substance underneath it. In the performing arts, you got to have a performance. All right, being compelling is one thing that people notice you, but then you got to have some substance underneath it. Okay, that's what we're talking about here in today's class when it comes to the performing arts. All right, the performing arts. All right, that means you got to be able to perform and there needs to be some art to it. All right, if you can't perform and there's no art to it, just because you look good, that's not going to be good enough. Just because your energy's high, it's not going to be good enough. You need all of these things. All right, what I'm talking about here today, you need all of them. You got to have some energy behind your presentation. All that energy that you're putting out to compel people's energy and compel people's attention, it has to take them somewhere that is fruitful for them. Where are you going to take them? You got their attention with your high energy. Now where do you go? Now what do they get? Now what happens? If you can't answer that, then who are you actually helping? Nobody. And you won't last for long. If you have no foundation of substance, where can you take people? You can't take people anywhere because you have no vehicle to get them there. Point number 3. Today's topic is how to become a star in the performing arts. Have a unique appearance. You notice another parallel with this one to yesterday's masterclass, which is be good looking. Having unique appearance means standing out from the crowd. Doesn't mean you don't necessarily have to look good. You just gotta look different. You just gotta be different from what everybody else is doing. Lady Gaga is a person who comes to mind, who stands out from the crowd. Part of her star quality in the performing arts is that she stands out from the crowd. And she makes some songs that people like. and she has high energy. All of these things are what make her a star. She has a combination of all four. I haven't even gotten to all of them yet. Standing out from the crowd. Dennis Rodman in basketball. He stood out from the crowd by dyeing his hair all these different colors. Every game he had something different in his hair. There was a different message that he was giving out. He was standing out from the crowd with that. And that made him a star in the performing art of being a basketball player. What about your appearance makes you stand out? Michael Jordan wore the hoop earring, and Michael Jordan had players wearing longer shorts, and he had the clean-shaven, bald head. All of those things made him stand out. And he had the sneakers that everybody came to want. All of those were part of his unique appearance that made him stand out from the crowd. Don't be just another fill in the blank, whatever it is you do. Don't be just another speaker. Don't just be another coach. Don't be another person posting inspirational quotes on Instagram. Don't just be another podcaster. What about your appearance makes you stand out from everybody else? If you don't have anything, then you need to get something or borrow something or find a co-host who has it. Something about your presentation has to make you stand out from everybody else. Many people fall into the trap of not standing out and not being unique because they look around at what everyone else is doing when they come into the game and they want to fit in. So they do what's already proven to work by the people who've come before them. Here's the problem with doing what is already proven to work. We already have people who have done it. Why do we need you if all you're going to give us is what already is proven to work? We don't need you because all you're doing is taking up space. If you're just the same as everybody else, remembering, ladies and gentlemen, you're being judged on the surface. You're not being judged on your actual material or your actual substance or merits at first. You're being judged on the surface. So if there's nothing on your surface appearance that makes people pay attention to you, what do we even need you for? Our trick question, because we don't need you. Nobody's going to even give you the time of day to find out how much substance you have if nothing about your appearance makes you stand out from everyone else. So your appearance needs to separate you from the crowd so that you at least get a few eyeballs on you. Now when you have their eyeballs and you have people's ears, now you can show them the substance that you have to offer. But understand that those steps must go in order. Point number 4. Today's topic is how to be a star in the performing arts. Have a strong personality. Again, another parallel from yesterday's masterclass. The definition of personality is the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. Characteristics or qualities. And I'll give you another definition that I got from iHeartIntelligence.com. Definition of strong personality is this one. Courage and self-confidence, the two main attributes of someone who possesses a strong personality. Again, courage and self-confidence. Now, let me tell you something else that they said. These are the go-getters and trendsetters. They do not follow the insecure or the fear-driven mindset that the rest of the world follows. They have written their own rules and they live by them. So now I'm out of the definition. Let me ask you a question. What do you say or see or do or offer that makes you unique? What makes your personality strong? What about you shows that you have a combination of characteristics or qualities that stand out from everyone else? How much courage and self-confidence do you exude? When do you go and make things happen? When do you become that go-getter? What trends do you set? Where do you decide to go the other direction? Everybody else is zigging, you decide to zag and don't follow the direction of most of the world who is insecure and fear-driven. When have you written your own rules and decided to live by them and then thusly compelled other people to live by your rules simply because you set a new trend and you created a new path? What are you doing that makes you unique? Some of the people I see who are aspiring to get to influencer status in the online world, many of them I see failing simply because they display the personality of a cardboard box. All right, there's nothing interesting about them. Why would anybody want to follow you? Why is anybody going to pay attention to you? Why would anybody give you any of their time? I told you in masterclass number 878, the key for personal branding. You know what it is? Personality. In all capital letters. That's masterclass number 878. The key for personal branding is personality. If you have none, then you won't be able to establish a brand. Branding is separating yourself from everyone else by having a certain appearance, a certain way of doing things, a certain way of being that when people think of that way, they got to think of you. And vice versa, when people think of you, they got to think of that way. If you have no personality, there's nothing that makes you separate from everybody else out there, then you just get boxed in. If you have the personality of a cardboard box, you're going to be in one with everybody else who's all the same, trying to be different, but they're failing at it. And understand that having a strong personality doesn't mean you need to be eccentric. It just means you need to be unique. So if everybody else is loud and jumping up and down, you by standing quietly on the side, that can be compelling. Simply because you're doing different from what everybody else is doing. You are separating yourself from the group. You want to separate yourself if you're going to be a star in the performing arts, because there are a lot of performers out there, there are a lot of artists out there, some of them are good, some of them are not. If you want to be a star, you got to figure out a way to stand out and take up some of the oxygen in the room. If you let everybody else define you or let everyone else take up all the oxygen in the room, all you're going to be left with is the scraps, and you're going to be boxed in. You don't want to be boxed in when you're a performer. All right, any performer who's listening to this right now, you know you don't want to be boxed in. You want to show your individuality. You want to show that what separates you from everybody else out there. And these are the elements that will help you do it. Let's recap the class. Today's topic: how to be a star in the performing arts. Point number 1, create great material. You got to be great at your performance. This is simple to understand, not always so easy to do. Figure out what your niche is going to be. Find your audience, figure out how exactly you're going to help them and what outcome you're going to help them achieve. You may need to experiment with things before you hit on the right one. A great marketing campaign cannot save a trashy product, because skills pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. Everything you do to get your name out there is built on the assumed foundation that you actually have something good to offer people. When you get your chance, you better be ready to deliver. Point number 2, be a high energy live performer. As I said in yesterday's masterclass, energy attracts energy and it attracts attention. People gravitate to people with high energy, but that effect will wear off if you have no substance underneath it. All that energy has to take people somewhere that is fruitful for them. What is it for you? Number 3, unique appearance. Make sure you stand out from the crowd. Don't just be another fill in the blank. Many people fall into the trap of being the same as everyone else because they see that's what worked in the past and they try to follow it. The problem is we already have those people established, so we don't need you if you're exactly the same as everybody else. Remember that you are initially judged on your surface appearance, not on the substance of what you offer. So what do we need you for if you're coming in looking the same as everybody else? Point number 4, strong personality. Definition is a combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. From iHeart Intelligence, they say, courage and self-confidence are the 2 main attributes of a strong personality that makes you a go-getter. You are a trendsetter. You don't follow the insecure, fear-driven mindset that the rest of the world follows. You write your own rules and you live by those rules. My question to you is, what do you say or do or offer that makes you different from everybody else? Some of the wannabe influencers out there don't have the answers to these questions, so they fall into the box because they have the personality of a box. Again, see masterclass number 878. The key for personal branding is having a personality, and it does not need to be eccentric. It just needs to be different from whatever else is already out there. Work on your game. Dre all day.